winner of the 2013 Victorian Micro-Business Award is the Great Ocean Road Surf Tours.
Good evening. All right. Kind of wasn't expecting this, but lucky I've written some things down. Not that I'm nervous, obviously. First thing I'd like to do, as I guess a lot of you can relate to, is thank our staff. Without our staff, obviously, we kind of don't really have a lot of business. So our staff are everything for us. The saying goes, behind every good man, there's a greater woman. And with my case, that's definitely true. My wife is pretty much the backbone of our business. She does a lot of the accounts and admin and that side of things. She couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, because she's holidaying on the Gold Coast. Hard life, I know. But with business, small business, any sort of business, I think the word that's going to get thrown around a lot tonight is passion. And for me, definitely, surf tours and surfing itself is definitely a massive passion of mine and something I really love sharing with other people. Being passionate about what you do and trying to showcase it in the best way possible is basically what we try and do every single day. I started surfing 20 years ago, and it wasn't an easy journey for me. I actually grew up in England, and I lived about 3 hours away from the coast. And I was really into skateboarding. I love swimming. I love spending time at the beach. And I said to my mum, I really want to be a surfer. She's like, a what? I'm like, a surfer. She's like, it's a fad, it'll pass. I had no friends that surfed. I didn't know anyone that surfed. It was kind of like one of those things that was really, really hard to get involved in. I turned 18, I learned to drive, and then I could actually start my surfing journey. So 3 hours away from the coast, I drove down there. I remember getting down the beach and just seeing the waves for the first time and just jumping in them. I think I got smashed pretty hard, but I just loved it. Just the whole being in nature and kind of being surrounded by that just really, really took my fancy. And it's the one thing I've kind of done in my whole life that I'm passionate about, from the first wave I ever caught to the waves I caught this morning. So it's one thing that's, definitely sort of stuck around for me. We're pretty lucky. Like, everyone says, oh man, it must be a dream job doing what you're doing. And yeah, it is pretty much. So, we're very lucky. As surfers, we're extremely lucky. We get to kind of hang out in nature. We see amazing things. We see whales breaching. About a month ago, we were in South Australia doing a program. We had dolphins swimming all around us. We've seen stingrays. We've seen dugongs. We've seen turtles. Just, you kind of get led into nature, and it kind of surrounds you for that little bit of time and sort of opens up to you. So, as a surfer, if you haven't done it, obviously come and see me a little bit later, but it's an amazing experience to do, and definitely a lot of fun. With the business that we run, we've done everything from traveling to South Australia and teaching Indigenous communities in the middle of the desert, how to surf, people that wouldn't normally get that sort of experience, all the way through to 73-year-old grannies from Yellowknife in Canada, how to surf with their family, and little 5-year-olds how to surf as well. It's been an amazing experience, and like I said, something I'm very passionate about. I started off this business to basically try and, I sort of said to myself, okay, well, back then, if I could have learned to surf in a way that was probably easier for me, what would I choose and how would I do it? And I guess I sort of said to myself, it's got to be hassle-free. It's got to be an easy way to learn. Everything's got to be included. And that's sort of what I built it on. When we first started Great Ocean Road Surf Tours, I lived in Upwey, near Ferntree Gully, eastern suburbs of Melbourne. And I started basically picking people up from their houses, driving them down to the Great Ocean Road, teaching them how to surf, driving back. I was probably doing like 15-hour days, and at the time, that word comes up again. I was fueled by passion. I loved what I was doing. I was doing my own thing, teaching people how to surf, and I absolutely loved it. The one thing that really stands out for me when the going gets tough is this one time I had to put on my surfboards and my wetsuit somewhere. So in Upwey, I had to build a shed, basically. I had to build a really big shed. Typically for me, I decided to build it on the hottest day possible. It was about 43 degrees. I convinced one of my friends, "You've got to come and build a shed with me." He's like, "Yeah, okay." 43 degrees, pretty hot. And I remember we had to build this big area of concrete for the base. And in Upway, if you know it, there's a lot of rocks sticking around, and we had to kind of really level this area out. And I remember this one rock was just in my way, and I had to build this shed, and I had to make this happen. And there was this little rock, it was probably about this big, not that big, but I had to dig around it to get this thing out to basically build this shed and make my dream come true. It took me 3 days to dig that rock out. It turned out from this little thing, it was like, kind of like Ayers Rock, you know, a little bit sticking up, but the rest of it's in the ground. This thing was huge. I was a lot stronger at the time, actually, a bit bigger. But lifting this thing out was just incredible work. 3 days, but I remember every time I dug in the dirt and found it was a little bit bigger than I thought, I just couldn't let that stop me. And I remember pulling this rock out, and I put it in front of my shed, and every time I drive home from my 15-hour day, I'd look at that rock, and that wouldn't stop me. I had so much drive and so much passion for what I did that every time I sort of, hit that sort of hard time now, I just think of that rock and picking it out of the dirt and just thinking, look, if, you just got to be focused on what you do, and if that can't stop you, then nothing will. So thank you for everyone, and that's the end of my speech. Thank you very much.